Australia. I'm your commentator for this morning's game. My name's John Simons. Welcome to the broadcast, and joining me is a triple Magarey medalist here in the SANFL and the coach of the Ross Trevor College First 18 locally, and I welcome James Allen to the call. Welcome, Jimmy.
Thanks for having me, John.
These two sides had a contest earlier in the season at neighbouring Richmond Oval, home of the West Adelaide Bloods. In a pretty tight contest, in the end, South Australia just got over the line, winning 8 goals, 8-56 to Western Australia's side that had a bit more of the footy and more shots on goal over the course of the game, but an accurate 7 goals, 11-53 saw the home team escape with a 3-point victory in this contest. There was some exciting players for Western Australia that day, and certainly their backline intercept marked a lot of the footy all day long and gave a lot of run and rebound against this South Australian side. So we'll keep an eye on that one today. 23 players for each side playing in the contest today, and of course all these under 17 players are most eligible for next year's draft. So we're looking at the intake of the 2022 and beyond NAB AFL draft, but will form the nucleus of South Australia's state under 18 side next year in the NAB AFL Championships. As the siren sounds to begin the contest here at Thebarton Oval, and jumping high in the ruck on that occasion, looking to tap the ball back, was Barnett for South Australia. It's WA with first hands on the ball. Relieving kick will come from Hewitt inside forward 50. Ball spills to the back of the pack. Almost a scoring opportunity there for Sanchez for Western Australia. Unable to gather possession of the ball though, and it's taken over the boundary line where it'll be thrown in adjacent to the behind post here. Northern end at Thebarton Oval is, and there tends to be a little bit of a breeze at this oval. It does tend to favour left of screen or the northern end. Conditions are reasonably still so far today. South Australia battle in there. It's McDonald trying to take possession. Sanchez similarly for Western Australia. Now Hewitt looking to get possession of it. Ball spills out to the back of the pack. Taking possession of the ball now, going by hand, was Bourne. Kick to the top of the 50. Ball spills to the back of the pack. A little bit of a fumble there initially for Dowling. Handball now comes over the top. South Australia taken high in the tackle there, and the relieving free kick will go the way of Ross Trevor's own Tyson Walls. Deep in the back pocket for South Australia. Jimmy, tell us a little bit about Tyson.
Yeah, Tyson, he's just finished year 12. He came second in the Ross Trevor Best and Fairest, two-time Intercoal medalist. So big game player at Ross Trevor the last couple of years, and had a really good season as well at Norwood with the under 18s. Kicked
it to a school teammate there, Max Michaelani. He's gone down the line and fine tuck. So ball still in the possession of the South Australian side. A couple of high flyers there as a push early in the contest though, and the free kick will go to Koshel, Kobe Koshel. Grandstand centre wing here at Thebarton Oval. All the numbers ahead of the ball, fairly well manned up. He's going to look inboard with a kick, jumping high, can't take the mark. On that occasion was Scully for South Australia. WA will clear the ball eventually through Douglas. Head out the outer side here at Thebarton Oval. Patton over the top of the footy, does well, spins out of one tackle, gets taken in the second tackle, not before getting a handball over towards Weckett. Tackled strongly now as Michaelani in possession of the ball, and the umpire says that will be indeed be holding the ball. Noah Farrow, the recipient of that free kick for Western Australia. 70 metres out from goal, assessing his options, looking to go to the top of the square. Will now link up by hand here with Bevan. Turns around, kicked through the pocket, the forward pocket on that occasion. The intercept mark taken for South Australia by Patton. His chip kick manages to just find a target there in McDonald. Coming in board to Walls. He's strongly tackled, gets a handball on the up now towards Sadler. Kick out of defence under a bit of pressure. Positioning well to take the mark was Ripester on that occasion. Used his body effectively, protected the drop zone, but unable to take the diving mark in the end. It's won a free kick in the ensuing battle, taken high. No, to go the other way. In fact, it'll go to Western Australia's Sam Gilby. Chips in short, Gilby. Got a player free there in Bevan. 70 metres out directly in front now. Nothing obvious ahead of him. Some movement various directions from the Western Australia forward. He's called to play on. Kobe Ryan comes in fact it's Jack Delaney comes in late. Interesting decision there. The umpire did appear to call play on, and Delaney came in to apply the pressure, Jimmy, and then the umpire said, well, no, you've come in too soon. It's a 50-metre penalty. How'd you see that? I thought it was a bit stiff.
Deline, very stiff. The umpire clearly called play on. The South Australian boys arguing the point, and I thought they had a case. But he's gone back and missed what he should have kicked. There hasn't been a lot of open play so far, John. The SA boys have worked pretty hard back into defence to help out and haven't been able to really move the ball with any fluency out of defence. It's made for a bit of an arm wrestle so far.
The footy gods coming to play there, also thinking perhaps that decision wasn't the right one, and the miss on that occasion for Bevan. It's Kobe Ryan with possession of the ball now, looks for his namesake there, and Jacob Ryan, and the ball trickles over the boundary line, 60 metres out from the WA goal. So Kane Bevan was the player that had the shot on goal and just missed to the left-hand side for the opening score of this game. But had some early possessions, has Bevan, for Western Australia, as has Hewitt, but his handball was smothered on that occasion. Kobe Ryan tries to take possession, in the end lays what the umpire deems a high tackle there on Jed Hagan. So the WA player 75 metres out from goal will look to wheel around on the right boot now and look to centre this ball inside forward 50. Is exactly what he does. Puts it up. Who can jump at the footy from behind? Strong mark, juggling mark in the end taken by Weckett for South Australia. Jumped at the footy very well and took a mark, intercept mark in defence, goes laterally to Jacob Ryan. Ball still tucked inside. Defensive 50 for South Australia. He's going to come up the line. Koshel will get a jump at this. Comes in from the side. Eventually it's Broadbent that affects the spoil. Possession taken for WA by Cleaver, but some good pressure there. Sees his kick go out of bounds on the full. So the resultant free kick will go the way of Jacob Ryan, his third possession in these last couple of minutes, deep in the South Australian defence. Chips in short to Walls. He's taken the player on. Umpire says play on. Steps around really nicely. Looks in board now, attacking option, but in the end it's going to fall Western Australia's way. A chipping kick inside forward 50. Sees a handball from Draper come out towards Bourne. Possession now by hand will potentially come back to the big fella there in Farrow. It does, but the umpire says the handball was actually illegal there, so the free kick will go South Australia's way. Defending grimly at the moment, forced to do all the defending South Australia. Michael Lenny with possession of the ball to Weckett, takes a bounce, not a lot on offer forward of the play. He's going to look long. Good body work on that occasion there by Cleaver. It looked like Koshel was going to get a run and jump of that, but couldn't do so. The turnover now, Rice for taking possession of the ball. He slipped over at the inopportune time, and the umpire says that's holding the ball. Connor Carbone laying the tackle there on that occasion. He's been lively in the play early, Rice, been tackled on a couple of occasions now and caught holding the ball. And Western Australia will look to go forward through the agency of Cleaver. 70 metres out, tucked into the boundary line. Most options covered. He's going to set it up, ball drifting wide towards the boundary line. Just lands in the field of play. Got a play on that occasion was Draper, Josh Draper for Western Australia. Well, the mark would have been paid, but down low, just sort of by his right hip, the ball spilled over the boundary line. So it'll be thrown in. 7 minutes played in the opening term. WA with the solitary score in this game. South Australia yet to score. Defending grimly, Michael Annie in the ruck contest. Jake Ryan takes possession of the ball, feeds by hand to Walls. Links up by hand, he's gone now, stepping out of one, and then caught the second time was Walker for South Australia. Michael Annie lays a tackle, and we'll have a stoppage inside forward 50 for Western Australia. Jimmy, where the play's been the bulk of this first quarter, we'd have to say.
Well, the South Australian boys have been trying to work the ball out. Once it comes in one side of defence, out the other side, but the WA defenders have done a great job of getting outside the South Australian forwards, and it's forced them to kick back inside into dangerous spaces. So the WA boys defending really well and being able to keep the ball in their half as a result.
Patton taking possession there of the Jones kick for Western Australia inside, kick into the goal square now, and Weckett able to get back and put a fist on that ball and put it through for a rush behind to the WA side. So the doubles their score, doubles their lead indeed in this match. 2 behinds they are. South Australia yet to score and yet to go forward to centre in this contest, and WA again going to go inside 50, kick to the top of the square now. Jake Ryan forced to defend, possession of the ball now, or just can't step through. Trouble there on that occasion was Jones for WA. It's picked up now by Allen. His kick around body, he's got a free player inside 50, and it's little Jed Hagan who's taken the marker. One of the 2004 breed in this game, Jed Hagen from East Fremantle, will go back and have a deliberate shot on goal. He will release from about 50 metres out. Of course, we saw the opening shot on goal from Kane Bevan just drift left into the left-hand goal post and miss from point-blank range. So this is a more difficult kick, but with a slight breeze in his back. He's looking to gain the extra yardage, actually runs wide on the mark, and subsequently the kick went out in the direction where he ran, which was out to the right. So Jed Hagen puts a behind on the scoreboard for Western Australia. They are 3 behind. South Australia yet to score. Weckett to bring the ball in, looking long for Koshel or Barnett. Neither can actually get their hands to the ball with any substance in that marking contest. WA to come back inside 50 through Gilby. His kick going back with the flight of the ball, having a couple of attempts at marking. That was Tholstrup on that occasion, but wasn't able to hold the mark. And we'll see another stoppage inside forward 50 for Western Australia, really needing a goal to cap off some of their good work in these early stages of this first quarter. Jake Ryan, another clearance outside a defensive 50, but again, WA appear well structured behind the footy and able to intercept any opportunity South Australia had of clearing the ball effectively out of their back half. And the ball taken over the boundary line now by Reid and will be thrown in. In fact, Barnett it was, will be thrown in. Still front half of the ground for Western Australia. It's about 70 metres out from their goal. 10-minute mark just ticked over now in this first quarter. South Australia yet to go forward of centre, or one forward of centre, but yet to go inside 50 in this opening stanza. They try to do so here if they can get a run on and play through the middle of the ground, but they can't. WA then, with the numbers, are able to tackle strongly. And the wingman for South Australia on that occasion, Totoli, wasn't going anywhere with possession of the ball. Barnett now wins the tap out. It goes over the head of Kobe Ryan. Tackled strongly to the ground. Both wingmen in that contest at the moment. That was Williams for Western Australia and also Totoli for South Australia. And we'll see another stoppage just forward to centre for Western Australia. Grandstand side here at Thebarton Oval. Little breeze just favouring the left of screen, but nothing too significant as South Australia look to go forward 50. Can they get their first inside 50? Magor takes possession of the ball, throws the arms back, looking for a free there from the umpire, but nothing doing. So South Australia will at least get a stoppage forward of centre now, an opportunity to get inside 50 for the first time in this game after 11 minutes have gone. It's a tap down to Ryan, Kobe Ryan that is, gets the kick inside forward 50 for South Australia. Ball comes to the front of the pack, but taking the ball with a fair degree of calmness on that occasion was Curtin for Western Australia, able to relieve the pressure. Grandstand side of the ground again, coming out strongly. That one was Draper, but unable to take the mark. Second time he's had one sort of down low, Jimmy, just near the boundary line, but just quite unable to control it on that occasion.
And he's led up strongly, John. He's put himself in a good position. He's just got to finish off the work. A couple of times the South Australian team's been able to win the stoppage, which they weren't able to do early in the game, which has allowed them to get one-on-ones forward of the footy. When Western Australia are able to set up behind the ball, they look pretty impenetrable at the moment. So South Australia looking to win more contests and get the ball in quickly.
Patton kicks for South Australia. His intercept marked by Bevan on this occasion. The opening scorer in this game is the beneficiary of a somewhat dubious 50-metre penalty in the end to have that shot on goal, but missed on that occasion. Now across the back half, takes a relieving mark, kicks long towards Draper. Doesn't take possession of the ball. That should be holding the ball, and it is. On that occasion, free kick will go South Australia's way. Ripestra takes possession of the ball. His kick looking for a precision pass. Again, intercept marked by Luke Michael for Western Australia. This is something they did really well in the opening game against SA, was that intercept marking across half-back, and they started this game in just the same fashion as South Australia give back some of their own with an intercept mark through Finn Reid on this occasion. Looks inboard, finds McDonald. Carrying the ball now through the forward 50, long kick down towards a marking target there. A tuck, doesn't take the mark, takes the ball at ground level. We'll get a snap on goal around his body, but it goes across the face of goal and doesn't register for a score. In fact, it's out of bounds on the full. So 13 minutes gone in the opening term. South Australia yet to score. WA 3 behinds. The ball will have to come back again to Luke Michael, who didn't get over the mark, but he's able to then affect the same kick twice. So little bit slack, the South Australians there, in perhaps manning up with any degree of urgency. May have created a turnover here through Lovelock. Took possession of the ball. Handball missed the target though. He then picks it up by hand. Goes to Kobe Ryan. His short kick to Koshel. 50 metres out. Plays on. Kick to the top of the square. Looking for tuck. Ball just spills over the back of the pack. First there on this occasion will be Rawlinson for South Australia. Comes back in board. Well taken. Lowered his feet by Sadler on that occasion. The snap on goal for South Australia has come from big Brodie Tuck. Gets the opener for South Australia, a badly needed one, and some good work at ground level from the smalls of South Australia, Jimmy.
Yeah, he's a class act, Nick Sadler. Pembroke boy, he's been really clean, great take and give on the up there. Was brilliant to Tuck, who finished off nicely. Sadler a couple of times, his clean hands and his ball use going inside 50 is a real weapon. Went inside 50 then, and the mark was just missed, but he's shown his class already in this game. And South Australia's been able to stem the tide a little bit in the last couple and probably undeservedly take the lead. WA have been right on top, but you've got to take your chances when you get them, and Brodie Tuck just did that.
I think the kick to space looks really important for South Australia. WA well set up behind the ball, the likes of Luke Michael and of course Kane Bevan looking to intercept mark at any opportunity they get. So they get the ball to space. South Australia look a bit more dangerous than just bombing the ball up high. And WA will win the centre clearance now. Handball over the top towards Hagan inside 50. It's a tumble punt now again. Leading out of the ball is Draper. Can't take effective possession, but he's looked a lively and mobile target early in this contest. Bevan will get the kick inside 50 for Western Australia. Ball spills to the front of the pack. Weckett that defends grimly. Shot on goal now, just smothered as it was heading towards goal from Chase Bourne, and the ball goes out of bounds for a boundary throw. And 15 minutes gone, opening term. So South Australia, one straight goal. WA 3 behind. So similar to the last contest these sides played, WA affecting more shots or getting more shots on goal. Inaccuracy just an issue at the moment. Kobe Ryan been winning a bit of the ball around the stoppages for SA. Ball spills out now. Shot on goal. Has it got the distance? I think it has. From Sanchez from Western Australia. It's a snap on goal that just carried nicely with that extra little bit of breeze favouring that northern end of Thebarton Oval. Was enough to get it over the line. So WA get there first, and deservedly so. They regain the lead. 1-3-9. SA one straight goal, just an opportunistic goal, Jimmy, but a classy finish from Cohen Sanchez.
Another beautiful finish, but it just shows the value of forward pressure as well. The run-down tackle from behind creates an opportunity to keep it inside 50. You mentioned the intercept marking of WA before. They tend to hold a player back behind the ball, whether it's a ruckman when it goes inside 50 or a winger pushes back into defence, which gives them the outnumber there. So South Australia around the contest need to use their extra number, which I don't think they've been able to do just yet.
Interesting to see how that plays out as the game wears on, because they have looked to come in board a couple of times, South Australia, but haven't been able to find that free option that Jimmy Allen is referring to. As they look to win the clearance on this occasion, they do. Koshel linking up by hand with Walls. His strong attack on the footy from Walls to make up for the loss of possession there, and he's managed to do a really good job in winning possession back for his side. Totally takes possession for South Australia now. He's run into a bit of trouble, caught holding the ball. Western Australia will take and break straight away. Again, a strong lead-up target. This time is Hardiman for Western Australia. Left footer wheels around onto his left. Kick inside 50 is a good one. And jumping high and taking the mark for Western Australia was Chase Bourne on that occasion. Had a snap on goal moments ago, which just got smothered across the boundary line, and this one will be a more deliberate shot. He doesn't look confident of the distance. He's looking for a short pass, and he's got a lead-up target in Kane Bevan, and he's taken the mark some 40 metres out directly in front. Perhaps might be a more comfortable shot for Bevan. Of course, he had the opening shot of the goal, courtesy of a 50-metre penalty from the top of the goal square, and just hooked it a little too left. So perhaps from the further distance out might just suit him a little bit more, just to be able to kick through the ball rather than necessarily poke it through from close range. Let's have a look at this kick. Releases now from about 48. It looks right, and it is sailing right and over for a behind. So Kane Bevan has kicked 2 behinds in this contest, which is 18 minutes old in this opening quarter. South Australia 1 goal trailing Western Australia 1-4-10 as Weckett again To do the kicking in duties for South Australia, Michael Lanny will get a jump at it against 3 Western Australian players, the opposing 17s. It was the Western Australian one that won possession in Michael, handball to Cleaver. Kick almost inside 50, possession taken by Hardeman for WA, who's immediately tackled. South Australia will mop up possession now. Kick long out of defence, Deline will get a jump at it, but over the top and taking a strong mark for Western Australia was Gilby. Looks inboard, immediately finds Hewitt, wheels around, plays on. He's got a mobile target there leading up at him, and it again is Chase Bourne taking his second mark inside 50 in the last couple of minutes. He'll get a shot on goal. They've looked really lively, Western Australia, with their movement forward at centre, Jimmy.
Absolutely, yeah, they do. And when there's space inside 50 and you can use the lead-ups like that, it's very hard to defend. But Bourne, go back and have a shot now. He dished off last time, and I reckon as a coach, there's nothing worse than a long point. He knew his distance. It was unselfish. It was clever to give it off, but he's gone back and backed himself here. Hopefully he can put it through. Let's
have a look. Most kicks have missing to the right so far today, and this one has done likewise. Chase Bourne not learning from each other at the moment. The WA lads missing to the right apart from Kane Bevan's first shot on goal. So they're 1-5-11. South Australia 1 straight goal. WA lead by 5 points. Deserve probably a bigger lead than what they have at the moment. Weckett again with possession in the back half. Goes laterally now, and SA through Walker looking to kick the ball long. Out of defence, Barnett will get a jump at this one from behind and takes a good strong mark. The South Australian ruckman looks inboard. He kicks it short towards Ripestra. He'll play on and look inboard. Coming out is Deline, 40 metres out from goal. He was the target on that occasion. He's taken the mark. Jack Deline thought about giving the handball off to Kobe Ryan, running past, but decided to go back and will take a deliberate shot. No, he's going to look to give off now. Lead towards the pocket as Magor, Jaden Magor takes possession of the ball, looks to break away, but didn't have the speed on that occasion to be able to get away from the chasing Luke Michael. A strong tackle from the Western Australian defender, and he will manage to relieve the pressure now for WA to Gilby. His kick will be intercept marked by Ripestra. Plays on straight away. Will look for Magor. Can't take the mark inside 50. It spills out towards the back of the pack now. Taken for WA by Hagan on that occasion. Linked up by hand now with Hewitt, and WA momentarily out of trouble as they kick long towards left half forward. Ball spills out of bounds for a boundary throw in. So for our South Australian viewers used to the last possession rule in the SANFL, that we of course don't play that rule in the championship, the NAB AFL championships, played under AFL rules, so traditional throw-ins for balls that go out of bounds. Free kicks only for out of bounds on the full in that regard. And WA to win possession of the ball through Allen. Ned Allen kicks it inside forward 50. SA will take possession now. It's Blacker. Wheels around on that left foot looking for Ripestra, who's covered a lot of ground in this opening term, and he's taken mark. His possession hasn't always been effective, and on this occasion the intercept mark taken comfortably for WA by Daniel Curtin. He's going to look laterally as a teammate free in Buslinger. He's going to do a likewise, kicks it out wide towards Allen. He can take it on the bounce, link up by hand to Gilby. A strong mark by Western Australia in front on that occasion. The handball comes off to, again, back towards Gilby. He's going to look inboard, just maintaining position here now. WA, this time through Carbone. He's going to go backwards to maintain possession to Cleaver. Chips in short, misses the target, but bouncing off and taking possession of the ball and linking up. A 1-2, really good play on that occasion for Western Australia by Bevan. Chips in board now, again maintaining possession through Ed Allen, his second or third possession in this chain of play. Bevan, no, it's Tyson Walls for South Australia. Eventually takes possession of the ball to Blacker. Handball looking for Michael Lanny. Links back up with Blacker. Taken high in the tackle. The advantage call play on now for South Australia. They'll look to go quickly through Michael Lanny. Ripestra free out on the outer wing. Steps around one. Steps around a second. Looks out wide for Coshell. Stands strong in the marking contest. Doesn't take the mark out. Numbered 1 on 3. And WA again with the numbers. This time through Buslinger. Head towards left half forward. Get possession of the ball now. Clever handball through to Tholstrop. He's found his target. Again, a mobile one, and Hardeman for Western Australia. His attempted short kick was smothered. Kobe Ryan looks to defend, and the siren sounds at the 23-minute mark of this opening quarter to signal quarter time. And it was a action-packed first quarter, particularly if you're wearing the yellow Guernsey for Western Australia. They've kicked a somewhat inaccurate 1 goal 5-11 to South Australia's 1 straight goal 6. So 5 behinds Western Australia lead it by. Those behinds normally, obviously, we'd run into the goal kickers. On this occasion, there's more behind kickers than goal kickers. Kane Bevan kicked a couple of behinds for Western Australia. Chase Bourne and Jed Hagan kicked one, and there was a rushed one. Their only goal came through the agency of Cohen Sanchez, a lovely left foot snap on goal. Whilst for South Australia, just the one scoring shot, it was Brodie Tuck with an opportunistic snap around his body after some good play at ground level for South Australia by Nick Sadler, led to their opening goal. But clearly a contest, Jimmy Allen, dominated by the Yellow Guernseys of Western Australia in that first quarter.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how it's played out. I don't know if it is a result. There doesn't seem to be a hell of a lot of breeze, but South Australia really happy to get numbers back into defence and win the ball back there. So they've held up really well down there. WA dominated the entries but weren't able to score because of the numbers back there for South Australia. The problem with that is once they came outside 50, they just kept kicking it to WA numbers and they were able to launch repeat inside 50. So whether you even up the numbers and sacrifice having the extra back in defence to get more numbers forward of the ball and give your forwards more of a chance to score will be something that the SA team will look to will have to decide on at this break, because at the moment they haven't really looked like bothering the WA defence too much. Their goal came through a really clean pick-up from Sadler hands and a great finish from Brodie Tuck, but apart from that, they haven't looked threatening at all to this point in the game, John.
Yeah, you just feel as though the game at the moment is played on the Western Australian terms. The game's set up exactly how they would like it. If SA were able to get forward, they looked really comfortable in defence. Western Australia were able to intercept mark the ball on more occasions than not when the ball was coming forward. And then as the quarter wore along, you see they were able to, if they didn't have an obvious leading target, they were able just to chip the ball around laterally and maintain possession of the ball until some space opened up for those forwards players to lead into. And just get the feeling that Western Australia had more options going forward, more players willing to present up and provide a marking target than perhaps South Australia did. But part of that could also be that the fact that South Australia the forwards were generally working to an outnumber in that contest as well.
I think so. And then we saw Harry Barnett on the far side take a really strong contested grab. And then SA were able to get that one-on-one ahead of the footy. He took 1-on-2 mark out on the wing. But if you're relying on that to happen too much, it's going to be really hard to score. So, the value of a contested mark, but they haven't looked troubled in the air, WA. So unless South Australia can get a bit more of a contest there and get some numbers around the ball, I think WA will be pretty content with the way the game's been played.
So around the ball for South Australia, the likes of Kobe Ryan started to get his hand to the ball but win a couple of stoppages, but that appeared to be South Australia's best chance to be able to get ahead and score, is to win some more of that clearance ball. And WA certainly held their own there in that regard as well, with Kane Bevan winning a lot of the footy in that first quarter as well.
Absolutely. WA have been really well set up around the stoppage. They've got some good, strong inside competitors, and then they've got some speed on the outside as well. I thought Nick Sadler, when he was in the midfield, probably looked the most likely because he's able to use his legs to get out of traffic. He's really clean in the contest, and we've seen a couple of times when he's gone inside 50, he's a penetrating kick as well. A lot of the mids for South Australia have won a lot of the ball, but just haven't been able to advance the game very much. There's, the 45 chip inside. Hopefully something can open up there with some run from behind, but at the moment it's a bit of a kick mark.
Western Australian viewers watching this game as well, and he was certainly found a bit of the footy again going back inside forward 50 to start this second quarter. Looked a lively tie.
Yeah, he's obviously got some speed. He's been able to create some separation leading up at the footy, which is what you want in a half forward, and he looks to be a team-oriented clever footballer. He went back, he unfortunately missed his set shot, but he was happy to dish off to someone in a better spot earlier in the quarter, and he's proving to be a bit of a headache for the South Australian defenders.
Another one forward we've noticed was Josh Draper for Western Australia, also a Fremantle NGA prospect, but a basketball background as well. Jimmy played in Western Australia's Metropolitan winning state basketball championship team earlier this year, so you can sort of see that movement in him. He's quite he's quite good at getting the front position and presenting up every time he's led at the footy.
Yeah, I think the disappointing thing for him and his side is he hasn't been able to clunk those grabs, but the exciting thing is he's put himself in a really good position to be able to do so. So that can change really quickly. I'd be much more inclined to see the positive there in that he's able to get in the right spot, and I think the other stuff will come soon enough, when he becomes more familiar with probably his teammates and more confident at this level.
So the restart in play sees start of the second quarter now, sees South Australia win that opening centre clearance through McDonald. The kick went to left half forward and dribbled out of bounds now for a boundary throw. And so 5 points the quarter time lead to the Western Australian side in this NAB AFL Under-17 Championship match. Home team South Australia taking on the visitors in Western Australia. We saw a game earlier in the season between these two sides, a 3-point final winning margin split them to South Australia's advantage. On this occasion, it's the WA side that lead. Bevan, being prolific in the first quarter, goes short to Gilby. They're going to maintain possession, going backwards in their back half. Carbone get by possession to Curtin. They're just maintaining it. They've got the player free on the outer side, which they've directed it to, but they're now all manned up as Bustlinger does find a target free in the end. Darcy Jones made some space in front of Kobe. Ryan takes the mark. He's going to look in board. A couple of options there. Hagan is the latter one. He takes the mark. Looks to break now. Thought about coming grandstand side. Now just stepped around Blacker too easily on the mark, and now he's taken 3 bounces. Gets forward to centre. Handball over the top now towards Ed Allen. His kick towards the top of the square. Great intercept mark by Max Michaelani on that occasion. Stood strong under the contest. Didn't waver and took a very strong contested intercept mark. Heads laterally out towards Weckett. His kick out wide looking for Barnett. It drifts over the back of the pack. Rystra looking to take possession of the ball. Beaten on that occasion in a 1-on-1 contest by Bustlinger. His kick is smothered by McDonald. And we'll see a throw in outer side of Thebarton Oval. We just saw in that relieving kick there from Weckett, it just carried a bit towards over the back of the pack. So that breeze just favouring that northern end ever so slightly, we think. It's not significant about the lead, about that 1 to 2 goal breeze is all it would be. A slight breeze, we can certainly score into it, but that advantage for Western Australia would be about right. Obviously they had enough shots on goal for that lead to be a little bit higher than it is, but it stays at the quarter time margin of 5 points. We can certainly feel it up here in the grandstand as the papers start to rustle a little bit. That wind breeze is starting to pick up a little bit, blowing towards, as we said, the northern end left of screen as you're watching on the broadcast here. South Australia link up by hand now. McDonald to Blacker. Kick inside, forward 50. Delane jumps high and juggles the mark in a second attempt over the top of Farrow on that occasion. Positioned well, as we said, with that ball just carrying a little bit. He was positioned well behind his opponent on that occasion. Jumped high and took the mark some 25 metres out, almost directly in front. The leading goal kicker in the SANFL Under-16 competition this season from South Adelaide, then progressed to playing their Under-18s for the bulk of the year, and he's kicked his first goal in this contest for South Australia. He's a bright talent, is Jack Deline. He's a goal kicker, an excitement machine, as we saw with that mark. He kicks South Australia's second to regain the lead for them. They're 2 straight goals. Western Australia 1-5-11.
Oh, again, the beauty of watching footy at this level, there's no fear in the kids, is there? He's happy to take a hanger, go back and finish. It's exciting stuff to watch. But the stoppage earlier, I spoke about in the first quarter how SA had more numbers around the ball, giving WA one behind the ball. They were able to chain through then and make that extra number redundant. So if they can do that and use the extra number around the footy and chain out and then kick it over the top of WA's spare player behind the footy, again, talk about forwards just want one-on-one looks at it, and that came in quick, and Deline was able to take a beautiful grab and finish really nicely. WA
this time win the clearance through Hewitt. Handball back towards Cleaver. A long high kick. A couple of players jumping at that one. Patton, one of them from South Australia. The umpires paid a throw on that occasion, so the free kick will go the way of Western Australia. And in the end, it's going to have to be Draper come back and take possession ball, or is it Baker? No, it's Baker. It is the latter. Baker will kick it long inside, forward 50, front of the pack is McDonald. Doesn't take possession of the ball. Strong tackle from Michaelani. Was it a sling in the end? No, it wasn't. The umpire said it was a good tackle. Ineffective possession of the release of the ball, and Michaelani wins the resultant free kick for South Australia. Chips out wide. Lovelock, his kick is intercepted now for Western Australia. Oh, he's made up for it though, young Archie Lovelock. The kick was intercept mark, and Sanchez played on straight away and ran almost head first into Lovelock. Ducked the head in, and the umpire said the tackle will be rewarded. So the holding the ball decision going the way of Archie Lovelock. Kicks long. That ball definitely carrying a little bit more now left of screen. Kobe Ryan looking to win possession of the ball. It's taken for SA by Cochelle, should I say, but the handball ends up now in possession of Western Australia. Go up the line, a good strong mark in front of Sanchez on that occasion was Lovelock. His second possession in this chain in the last minute or so. Goes short to Kobe Ryan, receives it back by hand. Links up now, all running into a bit of trouble there and just slipping over an inopportune time was Walker. Looked to handball it back to Lovelock. He handballs the forward till back towards, it may have been, yes, it was Walker on that occasion. Can't take possession of the ball. High tackle. We'll see the free kick go the way of WA's Darcy Jones. Just backward of centre. It's SA just a little bit untidy in possession there, but with a 1-point lead on the scoreboard. Intercept mark taken for SA fortuitously on this occasion by Sadler. Handball over the top now to Ricestrick. Wheels around, kicks long inside 50. Good crumble. In fact, on the handball on the up was received by Rawlinson after a strong jump at the footy from him in that marking contest. His shot on goal goes across the face of goal for South Australia to register their opening behind. In this contest, they are 2 goal 1-13. South Australia, Western Australia, should I say, 1-5-11 as Hewitt takes possession of the ball for WA. Kicks out wide. Mark taken for Luke Michael there by WA. He's got a player free up the outer wing in Hardiman. He takes the mark. Just doesn't get quite back far enough on the mark, and his kick gets smothered, and partly smothered, and taken by Max Michaelani. Over the boundary line for a boundary throw in, Jimmy, you know Max Michaelani well. He's had a good start to this game as well. He just gets himself into good defensive positions to impact the contest regularly.
Yeah, he's everything you want in a modern day defender. He reads the ball really well. He's strong in the air. He's courageous. And when he gets it, he just makes good decisions that opens up the game for his team. So he's been really impressive so far today, Max.
WA, he might get involved in this one. Jacob Ryan looks to apply the tackle. Ball spills out in the tackle. The umpire says he may have been held on too long in the tackle, and the free kick will go the way of Tholstrup for Western Australia. One of those 50-50 ones. Jacob Ryan applied the tackle, the ball spilled out, and then just held on a bit long without knowing he had possession of the ball. It could have gone either way. Could have played holding the ball, but I think the correct decision in the end went the way of the WA forward. And Tholstrup from 20 metres out has put it through. Just holds its line before missing, should I say, the left-hand goalpost. And it's a major for Western Australia, the agency of Tholstrup. WA now have two. They're 2-5-17, 2-1-13. Jimmy Allen, the forward, the value there of some ground ball presence there from Tholstrup. Ryan attempted to lay the tackle, but perhaps just held on a bit too long.
I thought the free kick was probably there. He was a bit unlucky. Probably didn't know the ball had spilled out. But what's noticeable at the moment is WA is able to move the ball out of their back 50 a lot easier than SA have been. A couple of times they've been able to hit a free player out on the far side, and they've been able to move the ball really quickly. So the difference is that SA are winning the ball back in their own half, whereas WA, once they get it forward, they're able to win the ball back at halfway. So their defenders are under a lot more pressure, SA, than the WA ones. There's only 4 points in the game, but it could be a lot more if WA had taken their chances in the first quarter.
Tholstrup Ripes, should I say, trying to take his chance on that occasion, strongly tackled. And again, for the second time this quarter, SA have won the centre clearance out to the left half forward flank, and then we find a stoppage about 80 metres out from their goal. Let's see if they can win the ball on this occasion. It came out towards Totoli, but he didn't take clean possession of the ball. Strong tackle for SA by Sadler on that occasion. But WA through Jones get the clearance away. A little kick towards right half forward for them. Bouncing ball. Bounces here, there and everywhere. In the end, Kobe Ryan takes possession of the ball. Throws it on the boot. Gets it long to the top of the 50-metre mark. Punch now. Ball comes down to ground level. And it's Julian with possession. And the free kick will go the way of Lovelock. Plays on straight away to Totoli. He's got Magor free inside 50. Jaden Magor takes the mark about 40 metres out from goal. Thought about playing on towards the leading target of Brody Tuck, but decides to go back and will take the set shot on goal. Knows he's got the distance and the carry in him from there, Jaden Magor, so it'll just be a matter of accuracy. Just set this up at the left-hand post and it should sail through from there. He does kick the ball high. He's kicked it high on this occasion, and it's just holding its line. and it's just got the distance. 40 metres out. He's kicked it about 42, and that's enough to give South Australia the lead back. Opening goal for Jaden Magor in this contest. South Australia have their third, 3-1-19. Western Australia 2-5-17. They lead by 2 behind. You don't mind Jimmy Allen seeing a forward go back to back themselves in if they know they've got the execution in there, and Jaden Magor certainly has that.
Oh, we've seen the value today of putting score on the board. WA have had their chances, haven't been able to capitalise, whereas SA have had a lot less opportunity going forward, but have taken their chances and lead the game. I think we're on track for a record number of holding the balls. It seems like the umpires are... And then they've all been there, but there's been a lot of holding balls in this game. I thought Tatoli going inside 50 would have been really easy for him to blaze away, but just lowered the eyes, hit the lead up, and Magor was able to capitalise.
Opportunity now for Western Australia. Ball inside their forward 50-metre arc. Hardiman just couldn't find any space to step through and have a shot on goal, and his handball in the end didn't favour either side, and we'll have a stoppage 35 metres out directly in front of the Western Australian goal. Barnett v Draper. Barnett tapping it down. Blacker can't take possession. SA eventually do through Reid. His kick is coming back in though, as the mark taken for Cleaver by Western Australia goes by hand towards Carbone. Long kick looking for Draper. He's just caught behind on that occasion, and again Max Michaelani in a good defensive position takes a strong mark at the front of the pack. He'll look laterally, goes short to Patton. He's a left footer. He'll wheel around onto that left foot straight away and find Reid. South Australia maintaining possession in the back half. Short kick looking for Tatoli. Ball was sport, but he was able to win the ball straight away at ground level. Kick towards Tuck. Good spoil on that occasion from Bustlinger behind. Ball spilled to the front of the pack. Wall's taken high in the tackle and will win the resultant free kick. Looks to get the game moving, as he so often does. Tyson Walls plays on straight away. Kick lands on the bounce towards Deline. He can't take possession. Bevan does for Western Australia. Ball slips out now. It's picked up for SA now by Ripestra, taking the tackle after somewhat dubious handball came towards him from Rawlinson. South Australia have the numbers at this contest now. It favours Blacker. He's on his favoured left boot. Kick looking for Magor's missed the target. And the mark is taken for WA by Curtin. Sends it out laterally towards Cleaver. They'll go the outer side of the ground. Now WA through Gilby. Left footer looks inboard. Mark taken by Williams. Play on movement straight away through to Bevan. They've got some players free on the grandstand side of the ground now. One is Hewitt. Plays on straight away. Intelligent kick inside forward 50. And the mark for the WA, should I say, has been taken by Alex Condon. He is, of course, the son of former East Fremantle and Waffle Premiership player Damien Condon. You may remember his uncle Anthony, who was a Hawthorn Premiership player as well. Goes back from 40 metres out. The kick goes across the face of goal for Condon on that occasion and through for a minor score. So WA 2-6-18, South Australia 3-1-19, 13.5 minutes, almost 14 minutes gone in this second quarter. Flat 23-minute terms of what we're playing, as a kick in from Wicket favoured Bevan. What he perhaps should have taken, but now he's got the ball on the up through intercepting a handball on that occasion. This handball hasn't been taken cleanly, and it's taken gleefully for South Australia by Kobe Ryan. Throws it on his boot towards the top of the 50-metre arc. It bounces inside 50. Deline tracking the ball, as is Curtin for Western Australia. Curtin takes possession, and Deline takes possession of that player via a tackle. And we'll see a stoppage now about 35 metres out from the South Australian goal, as it's taken for WA by Hagan. His kick was smothered. Handball comes out now towards Allen for Western Australia. Kick coming out wide, going back to the flight of the ball. Jacob Ryan spills the ball to the front of the pack. It's an opportunity now for SA through Kobe Ryan. Chain of handballs comes out towards Lovelock. He links up similarly with Blacker. He's just spilt the handball on that occasion. Perhaps a little bit of nerves for some of these South Australian players, but that looked a routine possession on that occasion. Unfortunately, just didn't quite get a handle on it. Blacker perhaps had it spent before he took possession of the ball, about to wheel around on that favoured left boot. Instead, the ball dribbled over the boundary line, where it's now thrown in. WA forward of centre. Attacking the ball on that occasion was Verrill for WA, looking to win possession at ground level. His handball looking for Jake Ryan was intercepted by Draper. He kicks in intelligently inboard, looking for an option at the top of the square. It's taken for WA by Baker. His shot on goal doesn't quite get the journey, and under some pressure there is Weckett, and puts it across the line for a rush behind to tie the scoreboard up. 2-7-19 Western Australia. SA 3-1-19. Weckett chips it short to Jacob Ryan. He does likewise to Verrill, but the ball's got to come back to where, in fact, it's going back to where we started, back for a restart from the kick in from Weckett, and he'll redo the duties. This time a long kick towards the grandstand side. Strong mark from Condon on that occasion. A couple of bites of the cherry. The umpire said play on. He then won the ball, gave it off by hand to Jones. He did likewise to Hagan. His kick, looking for the target there of Bourne, was well marked by Jacob Ryan in defence for South Australia. Chips short. This time Blacker does take safe possession of the ball and just chips it wide to Verrill. SA maintaining possession in their back half now. Verrill's going to look long. Up grandstand wing. Coming out third man in was Scully, looking for a marking contest on that occasion. Ball was taken by Barnett, spilled out as he was looking to generate a forward 50 entry. Spilled out towards, let's see, Sadler for South Australia. He's taken without possession of the ball. He'll win a resultant free kick and kick to the top of the 50-metre arc, but WA well positioned to take possession of this ball. Handball out of forward 50, or defensive 50 was again came towards Sadler, but he knocked the ball over the boundary line for a boundary throw in. 17 minutes gone, second term. Scores are level. SA 3-1-19. WA 2-7-19. 6 minutes to go in this second quarter. Barnett taps it down to McDonald. Looks to get the handball back to his wingman there into Tolley. And he wasn't able to take possession, but he was able to lay the defensive tackle on Elijah Hewitt on that occasion. So we'll see another stoppage. Same position there. Kobe Ryan taken high. On the ball cleanly from the ruck contest, and then just taken high by Hewitt on that occasion, and wins a free kick about 80 metres out from goal. Plays on, look long towards the agency of Barnett. The kick's carried over the top of that player on that occasion. Magor now competing at ground level with Buslinger. Deline third man into that contest. We'll see a stoppage inside forward 50 now for the South Australian side, about 25 metres out from their goal. Umpire just asking the ruckman to separate for a metre so before they restart the play, and a little bit of push and shove in that contest. Never quite sure which way these ones are going to go. There's a whistle in play, it's off the ball, and it looks as though, no, in the end it's going to be a restart. So I'm not quite sure what that decision was about. Jimmy might have been a warning even around the anti-density on that occasion. So restart in play. WA get their hands to the ball first. Kick outside out of defensive 50. It's taken for SA cleanly by Walker on that occasion. By hands to Jacob Ryan. To the Tolley. Looks to step around one. Steps into trouble. Gives it back to Jake Ryan. Off one step now. He'll kick inside forward 50. Just carries over the head of Deline and Magor and Cochelle. 3 South Adelaide Panthers in that forward 50 area on that occasion. And the ball goes over the boundary line. 40 metres around from this South Australian goal. Can they put a score on the board whilst they're forward of centre here to potentially give themselves the half-time lead? 4 minutes to go in this second quarter. Bevan takes possession of the ball. Cochelle tackles him. So South Australia just getting some repeat stoppages now, some repeat entries inside their forward half. They'll look to convert that into a major if at all possible. Scully wins the tap down. WA win possession of the ball now though. Sanchez, in fact Hewitt, strong over the footy. Releases the ball out by hand to Gilby. He's away, he's a left footer. He takes a couple of bounces, streaming through the middle of the ground. Kicks long to a marking contest, but reading the drop of the ball really well on that occasion was Finn Reid. His WA opponent was looking to go a bit wide of the boundary line. Reid just read the drop of the ball, intercept mark nicely, kicked inboard to Kobe Ryan. He then goes out wide to Michael Landy. He's got a couple of runners. One is Lovelock, decides to play on himself and looks a bit longer towards the jumping target of Tuck. He takes the ball at ground level. Somewhat ambitious forward and handball there looking for Cochelle, but he's in a 1-on-3 on that occasion. The numbers went out for WA and Williams takes possession of the ball. We'll just slow it down now to Ed Allen. He, the son, of course, of Benny Allen, former Fremantle and Hawthorn player, is young Ed, and WA maintain possession of the ball now through Curtin, kicks out wide, strong mark taken by Jones on that occasion, releases by hand to the run of Baker. WA with some overlap run, but Weckett positioning himself well against Condon on that occasion, takes the intercept mark, sends SA back forward of centre. It's taken by Scully, goes by hand to Ripestra, gives it back to Scully. He can't take clean possession of the ball, and neither can Jones for Western Australia. Ball trickles over the boundary line. 2 minutes left to play in this second quarter. The scoreboard locked away at 19-8. WA's 9 scoring shots to South Australia's 4. But the scoreboard is locked away as the throw-in drops a bit short, favours WA. It's taken by Hewitt. Handball in board now. Looks for Allen, has a bit of possession in this second half. Links back up with the original ball winner in Hewitt. His kick favours the run and the advantage of Williams. He takes 2 bounces, runs inside 50, considers a third, releases a shot on goal. It looks good, it looks accurate, it looks classy. Wonderful bit of play there from Conrad Williams. He took the mark, he broke into space. He knew exactly what he was going to do, Jimmy, when he marked that ball about 90 metres out from goal. Closed to within about 40, and a classy finish from Conrad Williams.
Oh, it certainly was. It's great to watch. You're right, he knew exactly what he was going to do, and I think if you've got wheels like that, the instruction from your coach most times is once you get it, take them on. You might be able to help us out here, John. It'd be pretty fun being able to run that quick. I wouldn't be able to tell you, but it looked fun. And I don't think any of his teammates had any doubt that he was going for goal, which is fair enough. It was a beautiful finish, but if you know, speed in the modern game, in any game, is really important, and Conrad Williams just showed how important it is just there.
A Fremantle NGA product is Conrad Williams, hails from the Kimberley, and showed off his speed and class on that occasion as WA go out to a 6-point lead now, 3-7 to SA's 3-1, 30 seconds to go in this second quarter. Can SA get an immediate response? Koshel may have been holding the ball on that occasion. Ball spilled out in the tackle. The umpire said play on. The 2 10s go at it. Kobe Ryan, but it's Baker for WA winning possession on this occasion. Gives it off to Hewitt, who's been prominent in this second quarter. Kick inside, forward 50. Ball comes down to ground level. Michael Annie takes possession. He's immediately tackled by Tholstrop on that occasion. We'll get a stoppage with only seconds to go on the clock. I think WA run out of time. The siren will go before they can get a shot on goal, potentially. Let's have a look. It's thrown up. No, this ball does spill down to ground level. Play still going as the siren now goes as Kobe Ryan's tackled. And it will be WA taking a lead into half-time. They are 3-7, They're leading South Australia 3-1, The goal kickers for Western Australia, for South Australia, should I say, Jack Deline, Jaden Magor and Brodie Tuck. Whilst for WA, it's Cohen Sanchez, Conrad Williams, and also Tholstrup for Western Australia. So a good, entertaining half of footy, Jimmy, but a 6-point lead is probably deserved for the Western Australian side at this point in time.
Yeah, I think so, and I don't think anything changed structurally. It's really hard when you don't have access to your players, as much as these guys do, to change too much. But the two teams play a really different brand of footy, which has been interesting in itself. The South Australians, to their credit, they really amped up their ground ball game there and won the ball around the contest. They're a lot less reliant on crisp ball movement than the Western Australians. So the Western Australians try and win the ball back in the back half through their interceptors and then move the ball really crisply, and they've been able to do that a few times. What I think happened with the South Australians, they're actually able to get a better contest from their tools. The instruction, I would think, to their tools is just bring the ball to ground, because we're actually pretty good in that area of the game. They're able to win the ground ball contest in that quarter, and they were able to score off the back of it. So I thought the South Australians... Our
broadcast of the NAB AFL Under-17 Championship game between South Australia and Western Australia. John Simons, your commentator, joined in commentary today by Jimmy Allen as we get ready for play in this second half. Both sides out on the oval now. Western Australia have been out there a little longer than South Australia in position. South Australia have come out from their change rooms and gone virtually straight out onto the oval, suggesting they've had a few things to discuss through at half-time to see if they can combat the game style of Western Australia in this second half. It's a 6-point lead to WA, 3-7-25. SA's 3-1-19. They win the opening stoppage through Barnett. Goes by hand to Magor, who's moved on ball after playing forward in the second half. Kick inside, forward 50. Again, WA start the second half the way they played the bulk of that first half by intercept marking across South Australia's half forward line. That time it was Bustlinger for Western Australia. Chipped out wide towards Kane Bevan, who's been a solid ball winner for WA in this first half. Kicked long, Michael Annie involved in the marking contest. It's taken for WA now by Sanchez, goal kicker in their first term. Kick almost favoured the Bourne on the bounce there. He didn't get possession. It comes to Jacob Ryan, now received the handball from Totoli. Kick under pressure goes towards Ripestra, takes the ball on at ground level, goes to Magor. He can't take possession of the ball immediately. Tackle laid by Totoli, and the stoppage will be 65 metres out from the Western Australian goal. Barnett and also Condon. Condon wins it decisively, smashes it inside forward 50 for his side, taken high in the tackle for South Australia. On that occasion was Verrill. Chips out wide. Mark taken for SA by Tuck. Grandstand wing. Sunshine just starting to work its way through the clouds here at Thebarton Oval. Slight breeze favouring the northern end left of your screen. Here it's nothing significant, but ever so slight favouring that end as WA win possession now. A link of the chain of handballs come towards Bevan. He can't get an effective possession away, and in the end, WA working out to the free player in Bustlinger. He eventually gets possession of the ball, chips to the lead-up target. Mark taken for WA by Tholstrep, also a goal kicker in the opening half. Goes by hand to Jones. He links up with Hardiman. Kick from the top of the 50 is working its way back from right to left, and it's through for the opening goal in this second half. Goes to Western Australia through the agency of Hardiman, and they skip out. They double their lead. From a half-time lead of 6 points, they double it to 12 now. They're 4-7-31. SA 3-1-19. WA just continuing, Jimmy Allen, to control the ball in the opening stages of this second half, as they did for much of the first half.
Yeah, from what we've seen, it's almost the blueprint of how they want to play. They win the ball back across half-back or wing, and then they're able to use the ball really cleanly through the midfield. And they get overlap run. Some of their half-forwards, Hardiman's been really damaging. We talked about Bourne in the first half, are looking really likely when they are able to move the ball quickly like that. And again, we see another beautiful finish.
Condon wins that tap down, and they'll win the clearance now through Jones. WA long inside 50. Michael Annie going back with the flight of the ball, impacted the marking contest, but it's coming back as the chip out from SA only finds Bevan. He kicks inside 50, finds a moving target there in Cohen Sanchez. He's just pointing out to the umpire exactly where he marked it, suggesting that every metre, every centimetre might be important on this kick as he looks to make the distance from around about, well, the release point will be about just on the 50-metre arc. So the breeze favouring slightly, but looks like it might test out the kicking distance here of Cohen Sanchez. Of course, he kicked a goal in the opening half. Comes in now, releases from about 49. The kick's got the distance and it's also got the accuracy. And WA skip out now quickly to an 18-point lead. Cohen Sanchez becomes the first multiple goal kicker in this game, and WA 5-7-37. SA 3-1-19, 18-point lead. But again, what we see, Jimmy, WA going forward, they've got multiple targets, mobile targets, presenting up at the kicker, and they're managing now to find some of those targets closer to goal.
So when they're able to intercept the ball in midfield or across half back, they're not relying on having to kick the ball long into a contest. The ground's open, and they're able to use their space. So they've got some nippy half forwards and deeper forwards who can get up the ground at the footy. But when there's space in front of them after intercepting the ball, it's pretty easy just to lower the eyes and put the ball out in front. So it's the way they're playing is really hard to combat. South Australia need to find a way to bring the ball to ground because their strength is on the deck.
So just that midfield mix different now for SA. Kobe Ryan off the bench and at this stoppage. Walls there as well, but WA win it again through Bevan and also Jones linking up on this occasion out by hand. towards Allen with his kick inside forward 50. Taken in the tackle. Wicket applied the tackle. Jacob Ryan applies a tackle. Blacker takes possession, and we'll see a stoppage now inside forward 50 for WA. Only 5 minutes gone in this third quarter, and WA have kicked 2 quick goals to open this second half, extend their half-time lead from 6 points out to 18. As the handball for Western Australia was taken for SA by Kobe Ryan, gave it off towards Weckett. His kick looking out towards Ripestra, just carries over the top. Gilby took possession of the ball, fed by hand to Condon, does likewise to Allen. His kick high around his body, inside forward 50. Patton getting a thump towards the boundary line. Kobe Ryan able to take possession before it dribbles over. Knocks it up towards Sadler. He does likewise towards Verrill, and he's taken solidly in a tackle just on the top of the 50-metre arc on that occasion by Western Australia's Noah Farrow. So some good defensive work from the forwards there at WA. Keeps the ball locked up inside their front half. Stoppage right on forward 50. Condon took clear possession out of that rucking contest. Gave it off towards the speed and dash of Williams. We saw a great goal from him in the first half. His kick was intelligent to find Bourne. He's about 60 metres out, about 55 metres out where he'll release. And from what we saw in the first half, he'll look for an option. That journey would be just beyond him. So he chips it up now towards the top of the square. It's an intelligent kick, just favouring the height there that Connor Carbone had on his direct opponent in Ripestra. And Carbone, playing across the back half for Western Australia, has drifted forward and will get the shot on goal, 30 metres out, directly in front. Doesn't look like a difficult one. We do normally see him in the back half of the ground, so let's see what he's like in front of the big sticks. He's a left footer. He goes back and he may have put it out left. He has kicked it like a defender, Jimmy, and threw for a minor score.
He did, but again, the South Australians are just finding it so hard to get out of the back half. Again, they've got numbers, South Australia, in their defensive 50. A lot of the time, they've either got to use the ball and chip it around till they can get it past that spared WA player at halfway, or they need to get numbers up there to get a better contest, because at the moment the ball just keeps coming in and the defenders aren't getting a spell at all.
So Jacob Ryan kicking it out of defensive 50. Kick goes towards the outer side. Lovelock takes possession, but not before the boundary umpire says it was over the line and out of bounds. So we'll get a throw in outer wing here at Thebarton Oval. So SA's had their score doubled now. They're 3-1-19. WA 5-8-38. 19 points the lead to the WA side. Condon been getting on top in these rucking contests in this second half against Scully on this occasion. Laser tackle on Magor, and we'll see a stoppage, a ball up, follow that boundary line, throw in outer side of Thebarton Oval. Again, Condon just holds Scully off with the one hand and then takes the ball clearly, gives it off towards Hagan. He can't break away from that stoppage. He's tackled by Magor and also Kobe Ryan. The umpire says it's holding the ball, and the recipient will be the latter. Kobe Ryan goes by hand, moves the ball on straight away now. South Australia through Rahui, should I say, plays on immediately. Kick out wide, taken now by Ripestra. He wheels around, looks for Deline on the lead, had to stand under that one, won the ball at ground level. Intelligent play from Jack Deline. The snap on goal just goes across the face of goal. Through for a minor score there to Jack Deline. He's kicked 1-1 in this game, but again we see South Australia having to compete against the numbers inside the forward 50. Deline did it intelligently, but his opportunistic snap on goal just missing. SA move on to 3-2-20. WA 5-8-38. 9 minutes almost gone in this third quarter of this NAB AFL Under-17 Championship match, as Hagan has possession, goes out wide, well positioned in the marking contest, was bustling. Spilled in the end what he perhaps should have taken. Lays a resultant tackle, a follow-up tackle, should I say, on Ripestra, and we'll see a stoppage. Grandstand wing here at Thebarton Oval, right in front of our broadcast position. John Simons and Jimmy Allen calling this game for you today, as Darcy Jones wins possession of the ball, kicks inside forward 50, looking to take the ball and break was Hardeman, looking to get his second shot on goal for this third term, but just left without the footy on that occasion. South Australia relieve the pressure now through Zatoli, short to Magor. He thought about going short in board, but thought better of it and goes back now to kick more up the line, looking for the long lead attack, but the Giant coming in front of him and taking a good defensive mark was Conrad Williams, doing it at both ends of the ground. We saw a great goal from in the first quarter. Now we see a defensive mark, chips in board to Hewitt, goes by hand to Hagan, steps around Ripestra. He just applies a tackle just as he gets the shot on goal, but it may have carried. No, it was accurate, but touched in the marking contest by his teammate Tholstrup, I think, on that occasion, and through for a minor score. So WA move on to 5-9-39, SA 3-2-20. The kick in comes towards Wolves. Kicks in board again. Has missed his target on this occasion. Looking for the lead there of Rawlinson. It carried over the top of that player. It's taken by Carbone. He feeds out towards Baker. A lot of options inside forward 50 for WA. One was Hewitt. The secondary one a little bit deeper was Chase Bourne. He'll go back. The lad from South Fremantle, and will have a deliberate shot on goal. It's his second. Of course, he had kicked it behind in the first quarter. He also had another shot on goal, partly smothered, that just went out of bounds without registering a score. But this one, reasonably tough kick. 35-40 metres out, hemmed up against the boundary line. The breeze will help him a little bit, working back towards those goals, but he stuck it out right, which won't give it a chance to come back, and it'll stay right through for a minor score. Two behinds to Chase Bourne in this contest. WA 5-10-40. South Australia are half that score, 3-2-20, and they've got themselves under pressure here. Weckett's kicked, has missed his target. He manages to receive the handball back and then just kicks it out for, just to clear it out of the back half initially, but it's coming back again as the mark's been taken by Busslinger for WA. Kicks inside forward 50, jumping high was Weckett, looking to recover the ball after his initial kick missed its target. Goes short and laterally to Jacob Ryan. He's going to go back from where it came towards Weckett. Steps around, chips in board, finds Magor. Has a look around. Can't see anything he likes laterally or the outer side of the ground. Now he's going to go backwards to maintain possession. Weckett, his third position in this chain. He's got Jacob Ryan back in the goal square. Kicks it to that player for the second time in this chain of possession. He kicks it out wide to Michael Annie. But again, Jimmy, the South Australians, they just can't get the ball out of their back half at the moment as it comes back to Weckett again.
No, it looks like the same play over and over. At least this time they've been a bit more patient. Early on in the piece, they just kept bailing out to the numbers. This time they've actually tried to work the ball around to their extra number. So if they're going to have the extra number back there, and they're going to have the benefit of an extra player, they're going to have to chip the ball around, or they're going to have to even up the numbers forward of the ball so they can actually kick the ball to an even numbers contest and then win the ball on the deck.
Sadler finds Barnett. He plays on immediately, tries to get it out to accommodate the space that Verrill can run into. He takes possession of the ball, looked to go by hand there towards Totoli. Didn't get that far. WA get possession and come up through Williams. Grandstand wing here at Thebarton Oval. He's been an exciting player in this game, has Conrad Williams. Surveys his options, kicks in board again. They found some space to move into. It's Hewitt, prolific ball winner in the first half. Kicks in board and finds another big ball winner in Kane Bevan. He chips it out wide, and the pass there from Carbone, just missing his target on that occasion. South Australia now through Ryan. That's Jacob Ryan by hand to Blacker. His kick was looking a bit further than where it went, but they've maintained possession. Barnett on the charge now, the big ruckman through the middle of the ground. Kicks out wide, looking for Delaney. Ball spills to the back of the pack. Ripestra there, goes by hand to Delaney. He looked to step around players where there was no space to step into. Gave the ball off to Koshel. He's immediately tackled, showing the umpire that he's making an effort to get rid of the ball, to not be pinged for holding the ball, and the umpire agreed with him on that occasion. So SA have managed to move the ball into their front half and get a stoppage now inside forward 50. Scully involved in the right contest, taps it straight down, but we'll see a stoppage again. Top of the goal square here for South Australia. Ripestra unable to take possession on that occasion as Scully and looks to jump around, can't take possession of the ball. Lovelock does, goes by hand now towards Magor's taken high in the tackle, received the handball back from Totoli. The tackle from Ed Allen went a little bit high, and Magor going to ground cleverly, able to win a high free kick. Well, he's about 50 metres out from goal, so it's right on his range into this breeze. It's a nice kick for goal, Jaden Magor, an accurate kick. but the distance will be the issue for him here. Just into this slight breeze. No real options presenting up to him, so he'll look to have a shot. Just steps out to the right, kicks it up high. It's not going to make the distance. Delane jumps at the marking contest, can't take the mark, and WA happy to take the ball over the line through for a rush behind to SA. Kick in, resumption in play. Immediately they maintain possession. Ball is partly smothered. Comes up towards Weckett. He's immediately tackled. Patton takes possession. His handball was intercepted by Western Australia. Kick inside forward. 51-on-1 contest now. Does it sit? No, it doesn't quite sit for Sanchez. Already kicked 2 goals in this game. He was smelling a third on that occasion, but SA standing up well in defence. Comes out to Reid. He kicks out wide to Ripestra. Does cover a lot of ground. Does Kelsey Ripestra, and takes the mark outside a defensive 50 for his side. Kicks up long, but again Bustling are able to win possession of the ball. He chips it in long inside his forward 50 and going back with a flight of the ball. Taking a courageous mark was Reid for South Australia. Coming out wide, handball now from Walls to Michael Annie. Kicks out wide, finds a target there, and Brody Tuck 70 metres out from goal. Wills in board and goes short back to Walls, who's followed his play up well there. Second possession in this chain. He kicks laterally looking for Kobe Ryan just over that player's head. Takes possession of the ball, calmly goes back by hand to Patton. He steps in board, a nice kick in board to accommodate the lead there of Rawlinson. Takes the mark, handball back to Kobe Ryan, top of the 50. Ryan kicks to the goal square. Rystra is there, but Bustling are doing well defensively to get across and punch that ball away. What would have been a certain goal for the South Australian side. The ball comes to Gilby. He links up with Baker by foot, kicks in board, and Finn Reid takes another mark, about his third for this quarter. And this time an intercept 1-4 to centre for the South Australian side. Chips out wide. Rawlinson. He's got a player free in Blacker. Takes it on the second bounce. 48 metres out from goal. Kicks to the top of the square. Delane will jump at this one. Bustlinger stands tall in front of the marking contest. Claims the mark. The umpire says nothing doing. And Delane claims Bustlinger in a tackle. And we'll have a ball up some 8 or 9 metres out from the South Australian goal. It's been a very, very important player in this third quarter as Bustlinger as Tuck takes the ball out of the ruck, gets a scrappy kick towards goal. Bustlinger takes possession, gets a kick, but he's taken high by Delane. It's a little bit of a follow-up to that one-on-one battle between those two players, and perhaps a bit of ill-discipline and frustration from the South Australian youngster on that occasion, Jimmy.
He's a bit out of his weight division, but he has a real crack, and he's shown that he can do it in the air and on the deck. I love what I've seen from Delane so far. And it would be a little bit frustrating because nothing's coming easy for the South Australians at the moment. Even when they do get the ball inside 50, it's hard work. It's hard work. So, you know, they're not getting the service that they'd really like up there.
And Jed Bustling has been very prominent for the Western Australian side in this third quarter as well, as Hagan tries to take possession of the ball. Can't do so before the boundary line is able to win out. So 18 minutes gone in the third quarter. SA 3-3-21, WA 5-10-40. It's a 19-point lead for the Western Australian side. The game high lead has hit 20 points during this game. Chain of handballs between Walls, Kobe Ryan, and also McDonald sees the ball end up with Blacker. Kicks it out wide, looking for Lovelock. Jumps at the marking contest. Doesn't take the mark, but wins it at ground level. Chipping board now, looking for Walls, who's pushed forward in this play. Goes by hand, out wide, looking for Blacker. Takes it on the bounce. Chips now, looking for Tuck, and he takes a strong mark. Brody Tuck, only about 9 or 10 metres out from goal. He might look to play on and kick around his body here. He probably will do that, but he's going back for the deliberate set shot on goal first. It was a strong mark. Brody Tuck just decides to catch his breath and calm himself down before he thinks his way through this one. He's an opportunity to become South Australia's first multiple goal kicker in this game. Plays on, and the kick is just a bit narrow on this occasion. Missed opportunity there for the South Australian side, and for Brody Tuck. He's kicked 1 goal 1 in this game. SA 3-4-22, WA 5-10-20. 3 minutes to go in this 3.5 minutes to go in this third quarter as WA, a couple of kicks out from the kick in, sees the ball land in the arms of Luke Michael. Kicks long up the line. Draper gets one hand of the ball. It's taken by Barnett, the big fella at ground level, and Draper able to do apply enough pressure to take him across the boundary line. for a throw-in. 18 points the lead for Western Australia. They led by 6 points at half-time. They led by 5 points at quarter-time and dominating this contest in this third quarter. Magor takes possession. He's tackled holding the ball. Umpire pays a throw for illegal disposal possession, should I say, and Elijah Hewitt is able to take possession of the ball. He's a strong running player, is Hewitt. He bursts through the centre square to the top of the 50 and has no problem in putting that through for South Australia 6-10-46. WA, SA 3-4-22. Elijah Hewitt, Jimmy Allen, has been a prominent player in this contest.
Sure has. He's got runs and carries with the footy. He's got speed, and you can see there, beautiful finish. Just looking back to the Brodie tuck miss, it shows the value of putting it through and rewarding the work, doesn't it? They pretty much play the way that they want to play. I reckon if I was Julian Farkas at three-quarter time, I'd be mentioning that South Australian play where they're able to win the stoppage, get the ball out the far side and avoid those extra WA defenders. They're not giving them time to set up. I think that's what they need to do if they're going to be able to score. See down the other end, we see again now, the WA boys, their speed, their chain of handballs has been fantastic.
And the shot on goal from the stoppage will come from Jones, as we see the ball carrying a little bit towards that northern end, favoured slightly by the breeze, and the kick from Jones misses to the left. Minor score to WA 6-11-47, SA 3-4-22. Kick in comes out wide towards the South Australian ruckman in Barnett, and he takes the mark, goes back, kicks up the line. Wrightstra looking to apply, in fact it's Rahui looking to apply the spoil. Standing tall for WA was Carbone. Chips in short now to Sanchez. He thought about releasing the ball by hand, but thought better of it in the end. Is going to go back and kick the ball long and high inside forward 50. Condon can't quite get to that marking contest. Ball spills over the back, and the two number 35s competing for that one. Barnett just applying the pressure there to his WA opponent, who takes the ball over the boundary line. So boundary throw in. Couple of minutes left, perhaps 1 minute left in this third quarter. Barnett taps it down. Chance for WA still to score. Handball comes out towards Jacob Ryan from Walker. Link up now with Tyson Walls. He normally looks to play on, looking around to see what options he's got. He likes the one of Koshel. He takes and breaks now on the outer side of the ground. Has one bounce, has a second as he runs away from Broadbent. Links up by hand to Lovelock, 70 metres out. Kick to the top of the square. Deline in the marking contest, and the free kick is going to go his way. Some strong body work from Daniel Curtin. Deline jumped forward from the marking contest to give the impression there was a push in the back, and the umpires agreed with him, as he appears to just have a bit of cramp after that marking contest. The opportunist that is Jack Deline might have to play on before the siren sounds so he doesn't get caught out. He does exactly that. It's a classy finish. Knows what he's doing. He's a genuine forward, is Jack Deline. Can draw a free kick and was able to draw a free kick on that occasion. Did a good job, Jimmy, in putting it through.
He did a good job winning the free kick. I didn't think there was a lot there. He was probably a bit stiff, Curtin, down in defence, but you got to finish the goals, and Deline did just that. So he's given them, the South Australian boys, a bit of a chance. The lead-up play, again, just a little bit of chaos. The ball hit the deck on the far side. It doesn't have to be perfect, but when you give the opportunity for the WA defenders to set up and get across the ground and roll and support their teammates, that you're not going to get through them at all, and they've shown that for three quarters. But if you can move the ball quickly, even if it's not perfect, and you give your your forwards a chance one-on-one, anything can happen, and Deline gets and are able to move the ball out with precision as well, which is sort of got is everything you want in defenders at the moment. Guys that can defend, they can win the ball back, and then they can use it going out.
So Jack Deline, we saw limp off at the three-quarter time break after that marking contest and kicking that goal. It just appears to be a bit of cramp. He's starting the fourth quarter on the interchange bench and just doing some stretches and on that calf and some jogging up and down. So we think he'll be okay to come into this contest at some stage during this last quarter. So 4-4-28 South Australia, WA 6-11-47. The goal kick is for WA. Cohen Sanchez has two, and singles to Conrad Williams, Elijah Hewitt, Hardiman and also Tholstrup. Was for South Australia, one each to Tuck and Jaden Magor, and Jack Deline, the sole multiple goal kicker, has kicked two for his South Australian side. So the lead for WA was 5 points at quarter time. They increased it to 6 points at half time. and they further increased it to a 19-point three-quarter time lead. So Western Australia have won all three quarters on the scoreboard so far. They've had 17 scoring shots to 8 and have been the dominant side in this contest. But the margin is only 19 points, and with the South Australian side kicking with the aid of about a 2 to 3 goal breeze, that is certainly gettable for them if they can get things cracking early in this last quarter. Can they win the opening stoppage? No, they don't. It's Hewitt who does that for his side, gives it off to Baker, kick inside, forward 50 is picked up, and a snap on goal immediately from Bevan. Won't quite have the journey, bounces back towards Williams. He doesn't take clean possession of the ball. He had an opportunity to march into an open goal, but in the end it's tapped over for a rush behind to the Western Australian side. So they take that lead out to that equal game high now, 20-point margin. Kick immediately inboard to the outer side of the ground from South Australia is taken by SA. By Sadler, kicks up towards half forward. Koshel by hand to Weckett, appears to have moved forward in this last quarter. WA win possession back though through Hagan. Chain of handballs links back up with Hagan in the 1-2. His kick look for the target there of Williams, can't find it. Clever handball though from Hagan. Handball over the top, and the shot on goal goes through for a major, and it's kicked by Hewitt. Again, that WA midfield finding possession around the footy and also forward of the ball. On that occasion, it was Jed Hagan with about 3 constructive possessions during that that play, and in the end, the clever handball that set up Elijah Hewitt, who calmly slotted through his second goal in this contest. And WA 7-12-54, SA 4-4-28. You'd suggest, Jimmy, that goal looked pretty ominous for South Australia.
Oh, it sure does. But Elijah Hewitt, I think he's one to keep an eye on. Obviously not eligible for the draft at the moment, being in the under-17 competition, but his power from stoppage and ability to get forward and then finish has been first rate. From
Swan Districts is young Elijah Hewitt. He plays his footy locally at Scotch College in Western Australia, as well as WA look to go forward again, but the free kick and the tackle may go to Tyson Walls. It does. Goes back now from right half back for his side. Again, that breeze just starting to pick up, and the ball carrying a little bit further left of screen. Barnett by hand to Kobe Ryan, wheels around on to his non-preferred left, and the kick is well marked on that occasion. A contest there between Tuck and also his direct opponent, the opposite number 30 for WA, and Daniel Curtin. And Curtin stood tall, took the mark. He'll get a 25-metre penalty. In fact, it'll be a 50-metre penalty in this contest as well against Tuck. So Curtin now forward to centre. No one standing the mark for South Australia. Gains some extra yardage, and just a short chipping kick inside 50. Mark taken for WA by Jordan Baker. And some danger signs there for SA with no player standing the mark, and in the end no player manning up that closely, and the ball will end up in the hands of, in fact, it's Darcy Jones that will get the shot on goal. 40 metres out, only on a slight angle, kicking into the breeze. The distance shouldn't be a problem. It's just the accuracy, and it moves a little bit right to left. That shot on goal and through for a minor score to Darcy Jones. 7-13-55 WA. SA 4-4-28. The ball's turned over upon the kick in, and it's taken for WA by Allen. Feeds it by hand to Bevan. Kick to the top of the square. Well positioned to take the mark is Noah Farrow, and it was a disciplined kick from the Western Australian side by Allen on that occasion, Jimmy.
Oh, it was, and I think Julian's obviously told the boys throw caution to the wind, and the risk with that is that you're going to run into mistakes, and the pressure from the WA forwards not to allow the ball to get out there was excellent, and they get a goal as a result. Darcy Jones again, he's had another set shot. He's been outstanding, especially in this second half, but going all the way back to the forwards, the South Australians' inability to get the ball on the deck or to even take a contested grab has really hurt them today. Outmarked at half back, give away a 50, and you're putting your defenders under the pump, and that's been the case for a lot of long periods in this match.
I think it was Bevan that got the kick into Farrow before he kicked the goal, and just the midfield options and spread, the likes of of Bevan and also Hewitt and Williams rotating through there, Hagan and Jones. They've had some superior ball winning capability both at the stoppage, but certainly in the spread from the stoppage as well. Kobe Ryan probably been South Australia's best ball winner in there. Can't take the ball on that occasion, goes back with a fight of the ball and wins possession of the ball. Gives off by hand now, and South Australia go forward. Magor spills the marks, wins at ground level. Will's inboard on the left. Kick might favour the Deline opportunity. It does appear to be limping a bit. Jack Deline in that contest. Can he come in and lay a tackle now? No, ball spilled out. The free kick will go South Australia's way here, and the recipient will be Austin McDonald. No, Archie Lovelock it will be. About 50 metres out, just beyond his range from there. He looks for the short option, the lead up, and he's found his target in big Brody Tuck. On this occasion has been South Australia's main target up forward in this contest today. He's kicked 1 goal 1, and will line up for this one inside forward 50. The camera's perfectly positioned behind this one as we'll see it move a little left to right. Kick at the inside left post should result in a goal. That's where he's put it, and that's where the ball sails right through the high and through for a major there to Brody Tuck. He becomes South Australia's second multiple goal kicker. Tuck and Deline with 2 each, Jaden Magor with 1, and South Australia claw one back there. 5-4-34. WA are 8-13, 61, 27 points the margin. About 16 minutes to go in this first quarter, final quarter, should I say. So essentially still enough time, Jimmy, but South Australia would need to get a wriggle on and probably kick 1 or 2 quick ones to get a bit of serious momentum.
Yeah, with the Breeze, I think there's enough time. Tuck's, he's been a very good player, hasn't he? He's been a really strong target for the SA boys, and probably if you put him at the other end with a bit more opportunity, could have made a real stamp on this game. If they can get it into him enough, I think he's shown enough to suggest that he's going to be a handful for opposition defenders.
The free kick against Walls on that occasion, pushing the back. Good mark from Patton, going back with the flight of the ball. Strong mark for the South Australian side. Plays on straight away, looks for the lead of Scully, takes the mark as the big fella, grandstand wing. Couple of leading options, Lovelock coming at him as his McDonald decides to go longer. Now in front of that marking contest was Tuck. Doesn't take the mark, it spills out to Weckett at the back. He's going to kick the right foot banana back to the top of the square. Deline nudged forward in the marking contest. Lovelock takes it at ground level, snap on goal. Just misses to the near side. Through for a minor score. Archie Lovelock, South Australia. 5-5-35 now. WA 8-13, 61. This next goal, if they can get it now, give them 2 in a row in this contest and start to give them perhaps some momentum, some belief. But you can see with that breeze, it doesn't take too long to poll on some quick scores here at Thebarton Oval. So they're still right in this contest if they can get their hands back on the footy. WA just trying to slow it down momentarily now and take a little bit of time off this contest and a bit of speed out of it as well, as Curtin chips in short to Hagan, who's worked hard in this game and had some telling early possessions in this final quarter, mostly by hand. This time will go by foot. Kicks up the line. You can see the breeze holding that one up. Scully well positioned in front of Broadbeck, takes the mark uncontested in the end, 80 metres out, wheels around. Going to kick it long and high inside 50. Where's Deline? He comes at this one. He jumps, he juggles, and he marks the ball. The umpire pays it. Jack Deline looked best positioned to take that mark. His direct number in Daniel Curtin on that occasion, just not impacting that marking contest, and Deline able on the second juggle to take the mark. He was looking for it on the third, but the umpire was kind enough to pay it. He's a pretty good set shot for goal, Jack Deline. Again, we'll have a look at this one from right behind him, and he's put it straight through. And double fist towards the crowd as well to try and get his teammates going. As we see, he was limping around a little bit. We think it's just a bit of cramp, a bit of discomfort from late in that third quarter, early in this last quarter. But still a dangerous presence up forward for the South Australian side. He's kicked 3 of his team's 6, 6-5-41 at WA 8-13, 61. He's a talent, young Jack Deline, Jimmy.
He certainly is. Like we said, he's done it in the air, he's done it on the deck, and he just looks lively. He's got a bit of grunt in him as well, which I like to see. The last couple of minutes has shown one thing. It's that the simple formula for SA is just don't get outmarked. Scully's taken a couple of contested grabs. Deline takes one inside 50. Even the times when they haven't taken the mark in the last couple of minutes, the ball's come to deck and they've been able to win the ball on the ground. If they get outmarked, game over.
So free kick at the centre clearance for WA. They'll go inside 50. It's one by ground level by Verrill for SA. Feeds off by hand to Walker. Kicks out wide. That ball definitely carrying a bit further now with that breeze. Weckett moved forward in this last quarter. Has had some possession in the front half. Goes by hand to Magor. Steps around a couple. Chips out wide. Now Deline just nudged under this one. Can't take the mark for WA. On that occasion was Carbone, but he's won the ball by possession. His kick is partly smothered now, taken for WA by Jones. Links up by hand with Sanchez, and WA out of the back half. Mark was taken on the third attempt in front of Michaelani by Hardiman for Western Australia. 20 points the margin, 10 minutes gone in this final quarter. WA lead. Jacob Ryan affects the spoil. WA got the numbers front and square, able to take possession now. Sanchez on the up towards Gilby. He's a nice user of the ball. He's looked for Draper on that occasion. Ball spilled to the front of the pack, and the shot on goal for WA has been had by Darcy Jones, and it's through for a major. That all-important response from the WA side comes through Darcy Jones. He's kicked WA's ninth and 9-13-67, SA 6-5-41. 11 minutes gone in the final quarter. Just a good old-fashioned contest inside 50 and a front and square crummer, Jimmy, resulting in that answering goal to the Western Australian side.
Oh, he's shown that he can do it on the deck up forward and at stoppage. He's been outstanding, Jones. He's got better as the game's gone on, but just get yourself in the right spot, and then to finish like that was sensational. But I've been really impressed with his hands around the contest. He's 173 centimetres and weighs 60 kilos, so there's nothing of him. If you've got any wind here, it might blow away today, but he's been really impressed. He goes again, gets to do his partner in crime, Hewitt. Those two for me have been cut above, to be honest. And
the kick to Hewitt gives an opportunity there for his forwards, but Jacob Ryan able to pounce on the loose ball and finds his target there in Barnett. He plays on immediately. SA looking to go up the middle of the ground on this occasion. McDonald spills the mark, applies the tackle now. Cochelle takes possession of the ball, throws the ball on the boot. It might favour the SA side. Kobe Ryan applies the tackle. Cochelle goes by hand towards Rawlinson. He's got a target out wide. It was an intelligent kick in the end. Knew that he had Tyson Walls out there, and he just set the ball to an advantage position where Walls was able to take a chest mark inside forward 50. Jimmy, you coach him at college level. What's his set shot for goal like?
Yeah, I'll back him. I'll tell you what, I hope he puts away some of those celebrations he pulled out this year, especially being 26 points down. He's a passionate kid. He's very excitable. He's the heart and soul of our team at Ross Trevor. Unfortunately, he's just sprayed it, so we didn't get to see him have a chance. He pulled out a bow and arrow this year. I had to have a word to him about that. But he's the sort of player you love having in your side. He's hard as a cat's head, and will do anything you ask of him.
WA looking to come out of the back half. The kick might have been out of bounds on the full. It was. The umpire said it was before Buslinger could take the mark. So SA get a chance to go back inside forward 50 here. Max Blacker will be the beneficiary of that umpiring decision out of bounds on the full. Correct one, and Blacker now to kick the SA side. He just inside 50, he'll set it up. Deline at the back of the marking contest was well positioned, got his hands to the ball, didn't clunk the mark, definitely limping is Deline in this contest. And now it's taken by McDonald, snap on goal, might have gone through, no, just narrow on that occasion, and through for a minor score to the SA side. So they're just getting there in points at the moment. 6-7-43, it's SA 9-13-67 WA. Got about 9 minutes to go in this final quarter. 23 minutes of the quarter as we're approaching the 14-minute mark, and WA to bring the ball in now through Gilby. Nice distributor of the ball, and he's found Darcy Jones, who's been very busy in this quarter in particular, but constantly throughout the whole game. Chips it up towards Gilby, who kicked it to him in the first place. He sends it out wide, and they maintain possession. This is Julian for the Western Australian side. Chip in board under some pressure and heat there on that occasion was Cleaver, but he stood calmly and took the mark And this kicking board's been intercepted by Koshel. He's got speed and he's got space in front of him. Takes a bounce, goes by hand to Kobe Ryan. He takes a bounce, runs inside, forward 50 and has put it through. Kobe Ryan gets the all-important goal that South Australia need to give themselves a realistic chance to rein in this Western Australian lead. It's a classy finish from Kobe Ryan, but it was Kobe Koshel who did all the hard work to actually win that contest, win that intercept possession, should I say. Ran into space, and it's not for the first time, Jimmy, we've seen Koshel run and carry the ball with some speed and aggression in this game.
No, he's shown some real speed for his size. He's 195 and moves like the wind a couple of times, and he's done exactly what Julian Farkas would have wanted. He's taken the game on. He's actually put the WA defenders under some pressure because he's been willing to take the game on a little bit and run at him with some power and speed.
So it's 18 points the margin now with 8 minutes to play. As SA go forward, again inside, forward 50, Delane jumping high. Can't take the mark, ball spills to the front of the pack. Searching for it at ground level, Magor, Delane both in there. Tackle laid by Gilby, and we'll see a stoppage. About 30 metres out from the South Australian goal there, 7-7-49, WA 9-13, 67. Jumping high was Weckett, took possession of the ball out of the ruck, snap on goal. Just across the face and through for a minor score there to Weckett. He's been lively in this last quarter as well, moving forward. After playing the first 3 quarters in defence, he's had some impact up forward. WA now bring the ball in, come grandstand side. Mark taken by Baker for the WA side. He looks inboard, doesn't see anything he likes. He's going to kick up the line. Draper trying to get to this one. It won't quite reach as far as him. Jacob Ryan takes possession of the ball by hand to Walls. Likewise to Kobe Ryan. Back to Jacob Ryan. His hands were good. Under pressure to Reid. And Western SA back inside their front half now. Ball spills to the front of the pack. Magor takes possession of the ball. Kicks off the... Slews off the side of the boot, but it might favour Delane on the bounce. He's definitely limping behind the play to get to this contest. He's not able to lay the tackle before Hewitt takes possession of the ball and finds a target there in Bevan. He'll play on. He's got Sanchez free out wide, breaks straight away on that left boot. He's got to play a free forward of the ball in Farrow. Gives off by hand to Hewitt, runs inside 50, kick to the top of the square, coming in for SA. And taking the defensive mark was the ruckman in Harry Barnett. Swings it out wide to Ripester. It's just over his head. He effects a wonderful smother though. And now SA through Walker have possession of the ball. Kick is intercepted now. WA, should I say, have possession through Williams. Steps around one, spins around another, and calmly finds a target in Gilby. 55 out. Nears within 50 metres. A kick towards Sanchez. He's in a large amount of space inside 50. Takes possession of the ball, and his chipping little pass will be sufficient to find Chase Bourne. And he'll have an opportunity to go back and perhaps to kick what would be the sealing goal for Western Australia. Almost 18 minutes gone in this final quarter. 23 minutes flat the other quarter. So 17 points lead currently to Western Australia. Kicking this one, I think, will just make it a bridge too far for South Australia. The shot on goal from Bourne looks a bit narrow, and indeed it is. So it's through for a minor score. Chase Bourne has kicked 3 behinds in this contest. 18 points the lead to South Australia. Patton plays on straight away. His kick is smothered rather fortuitously. It comes towards Reid, though. He kicks it quickly out of the back half. And now WA look to send it back forward as Buslinger throws it on the left boot. His kick drifts out wide, bounces back into the field of play, favours Sadler. Immediately goes by hand to Kobe Ryan. His chip looking for the lead of Weckett. Didn't quite get that far, and Buslinger, not for the first time today, is able to take an intercept mark for Western Australia and slows it down now through to Baker.
Yeah, and they'll look to just run the time down a little bit and take some speed out of the game. WA, I think they've looked at their best when they can find a mark and then use the ball really well. South Australia, to their credit, haven't given up, and they've looked a lot more in the game when they've made it a bit chaotic and they've been able to just get the ball on the deck and get some numbers around there. They haven't given it up at all. There's still 4 minutes to go. Be a good reward for them to get another goal here at least, just to finish with with some real momentum.
Looking to go, a good pass from Blacker, finds Walls, plays on immediately, sends it in board. Barnett takes the mark, plays on straight away. Kick inside forward 50, Deline in this marking contest, and also Carbone, and the umpire's paid a holding free in the marking contest to Deline. He does know how to get himself a free in a marking contest, as we saw in that third quarter, and he's able to do it again. He's a dangerous proposition up forward, and just causing Carbone some issues on that occasion. Some holding in the marking contest, and Deline, the leading goal kicker on the ground, has kicked 4, and he's an under-16 player as well, Jimmy, so his draft year is not till 2 years away. He's going to have some scouts watching him closely over the next couple of years, you'd suggest.
Oh, he certainly will. He's been outstanding, and now the defenders are spooked by what he can do. He's on one leg, and he's drawn a couple of free kicks just with the impact he had earlier on. They're nervous when the ball comes to him one-on-one.
13 points the margin, 3 minutes to play. SA win the centre clearance. McDonald to Kobe Ryan, dribbles a kick forward, and he was taken illegally in the tackle. No, the umpire said it was holding the ball. Paid. May have said that the ball didn't connect properly with the boot, and the free kick went WA's way. So Sanchez can slow it down. He does by going laterally to Baker. His kick, one-on-one marking contest there, and a good mark in that contest was taken by Tholstrop. Kick the top of the square now. It's Reid at ground level, won the ball, looked for Michaelani by hand. The ball didn't get that far. WA now, handball given off eventually by Jones, receives it back in the 1-2, throws it on the left boot at the top of the square, and Lovelock able to take the defensive mark for South Australia. Knows that the clock is ticking, looks to get moving very quickly, goes by hand to Sadler. His kick may favour Ripestra. No, it's taken by Tuck. He throws a torpedo on the boot, looking to cover some ground over the top. Again, that one-on-one contest, Carbone and Deline. Carbone leading back in the chase of the ball. Deline applies some pressure, lays the tackle, and gets the ball over the boundary line for a boundary throw in 15 metres around from the South Australian goal. They're 8-8-56 South Australia. WA are 9-15-69. It's a 13-point lead, 21.5 minutes gone in this final quarter, in what is a 23-minute final quarter, so not a lot of time left on the scoreboard for SA to catch up in this one. 8-8-56, ironically, is the score they kicked in the game against these two sides earlier in the season, where they hung on to win by 3 points. WA kicked 7-11 in that game. This game they've kicked a little bit more, an extra 2 goals forward to get themselves out to 9-15-69. They should hang on from here with a minute left in the quarter, 22 minutes gone in the final quarter. They've got possession in the back half. Hewitt, who's been a very good player for the Western Australian side today, sends it out to Luke Michael, and he'll be in no hurry to have to kick this one. He'll take his full measure, looks around, waits for the umpire to tell him to go. He calls play on, so releases by foot now. Kick up high. Another contested mark in this quarter taken by Tholstrup for Western Australia. Took a good one across half forward just before. He's done likewise this time across half back for his side. Chips in board and finds Curtin. Final 30 seconds of this game. They'll just take the time off the clock now. The WA side kicks it back to Luke Michael. He's going to chip. He's got an option out wide again in Curtin, and he'll look just to slow it right down. He'll avoid kicking to the contest if he can. Realises that he can't now, and kicks it long up the line as the siren sounds to signal the end of the play and the end of this NAB AFL Under-17 Championships game. And WA have run out deserved winners in this contest. They've kicked 9-5-69 to South Australia's 8-8-56, a 13-point victory to the Western Australian side. Their goal kickers, 2 each to Sanchez, to Hewitt, and singles to Jones, Williams, Hardiman, Tholstrup and Farrow. Whilst for South Australia, there was 4 to Jack Deline, 2 to Brody Tuck, and singles to Kobe Ryan and Jaden Magor. As we wrap it up quickly, Jimmy, prior to